Hello, I'm back. I wasn't announcing that I would be back, but I am in fact back, and I'm here to talk to you about something called the full spectrum krunk. And there's three ways to go about it. And as we prepare some full spectrum krunk, I will also talk about why you might or might not want to do it. But keep in mind that this is really for seasoned kava drinkers. It's not something I would recommend for anyone just starting out drinking kava. But if you've been drinking, every day for a year or so, and you're interested, then this is for you. So anyway, the point of a full spectrum krunk is you're going to get krunk, have a very strong drink of kava, but it's going to be full spectrum because by drinking a variety of strains, in fact a fairly large number of strains, you're going to have a much broader spectrum of kavalactones than you would if you just drank, say, a Vanuatu, very peppery, heavy kind of thing, or if you were just drinking Tongan, you'd have a different set of kavalactones. But by having, a whole bunch of different strains, you're going to get a much more full spectrum of the kavalactones. Remember, there are 16 or 18 kavalactones that we know about, and there's a possibility there are more, just like with vitamins. And we're just learning what they can do. We know what the major six do, and that's why typically when you see a chemotype of kava, it's just listing the six the first six dominant kavalactones in a particular strain. But typically you don't get very far outside of that, the first six. And I think that we're only just beginning to learn a lot of things about kava, and one of them is the possibility that there are entourage effects with kava, that you are looking at getting perhaps as broad a spectrum of whatever it is you're going for from the whole plant. So anyway, three ways to get a broad spectrum krunk. One is when you get towards finishing a bag and you haven't got enough in a bag, say your pound bag of kava, and so you can't make anything directly of it, so you just take what's left and pour it into your handy dandy mongrel jar, and then you simply make a very strong version. Once you've got at least 8 different kavas in here, shake it up, and what you want is 4 tablespoons. We've obviously got at least 4 tablespoons, so we can do that, and I think we will. There are 2 other ways to do it. Perhaps we'll do the other way. First I'll tell you about the mongrel grog way. And the way I do that is when I'm just making kava for myself, I never drink the same strain or variety or brand twice in a row. So I'll make myself a liter of squanch, for example, and just drink that liter, and then next liter will be something else based on how I feel. I have bought a fair number of kavas, not a huge number, I wish I had more, but I'm able to do that. And I think that one of the ways that's good is that it prevents kava dermopathy. I think that one of the things that can bring on dermopathy is drinking the same type of kava over and over and over. The other is the diminution of effects, that if you drink the same type of kava repeatedly, one after another, you will get what seems like diminishing marginal rates of return. Certainly with the more euphoric kavalactones in the beginning of a session, it seems as if the body really adapts to those very quickly, and then you quickly get no effect. But if you mix it up, constantly rotating, so each time you make a liter of kava, you're drinking from a different kind, I find you don't get that diminution of effects. You simply get what you would expect and hope to get normally. And finally, oh yes, just to finish up with the the second technique of making a full spectrum krunk is with the mongrel grog. Now, when I do make a leader with my 4 tablespoons in an aloe bowl, I then put the macas, take the macas out of the bowls and put them in a container to keep in the freezer. And when I have enough, typically 2 cups or more of frozen macas, I will thaw it out and knead in a bag in traditional style preparation 4 more washes, so I'll get plenty more grog out of it. And I call it mongrel grog because it's always a mix of different types. So dry mongrel would be when you're taking just the little ends of bags and putting them in like that. And then of course in mongrel grog, if you're drinking a variety of kavas, you're going to end up with different stuff. And to make a full spectrum krunk, you would make, instead of regular mongrel grog, you would make it with, particularly in the first wash, a much lower water ratio, dropping that down by 25 to 30%, or even just a little bit more, because you want that to be really, really strong. I mean, one of the points of full spectrum krunk is it is a strong drink, and that's why I don't recommend it for newbies. And so finally, the one that's the most fun, I think, for the purposes of making a video, if I can get the measuring spoon, good enough, is to take bits of as many different bags of kava as possible. And that's what I'm going to do. And I've already prepped up my bottle to 400 milliliters. Normally when I would make standard strength grog, I would use 4 tablespoons to 500 milliliters in the first wash, and then do a second of 400 milliliters of water, shake it all together, and then you get a liter that way. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is, and I'll shout out the names of the kavas that I do. Squanch, Fijian Waka. They also make a very good Fijian Lavena, which is delicious. And then one of my favorite kavas of last year, the Fiji Fresh Fiji Lavena Kava, which is a treat in and of itself. One of the nicest experience I've had in a while. It reminded me very much of why I fell in love with kava in the first place. And seen it through 2 batches already, and a very interesting label, very 90s. So very pretty Miami look. So anyway, moving right along. Because we're going to get a really full spectrum here, we want as wide a variety as possible. I'm going to add some Fiji Fresh Fiji Waka Kava, which is just very little bit left in the bag. And I know roughly what 4 tablespoons looks like in the bowls as I fill them up. Still have some Mood and Mind Premium Kava powder. And this is indeed a Vanuatu. Not a very dignified or special one, but it is a kava. There's nothing wrong with it. It makes you feel good. I've got nothing against it. It's good stuff. This is some Palarisol in an unmarked envelope from the Kava Society of New Zealand. It's an excellent, outstanding kava. And just absolutely brilliant through and through. This is from Gourmet Hawaiian Kava. This is the Awa Mahakea, which I find a delightful kava for pretty much any occasion, and particularly for times when you've got to decide what kava to make and you can't really decide. Mahakea always goes well, no matter the time of day or the situation or the social whatever. Anyway, I'm just going to yell at you over my head as I grab a few more. This is lots of fun. You can see why you would want to do it this way as well as the others. What I'm going to use now is Kava from Kava. It is a Fijian waka. Not sure if it's not, might be blended. But anyway, it's very nice. I find it's a balance to the heavy side. Very pleasant Kava. And what have we got? Oh, good old with Kava Samoan. I did a review of them recently, and this is the little bit that's left in the bag from that trip. It was a wonderful Kava to have with me. Never got tired of the taste. It's a very special taste. So like cinnamon and raisin and all sorts of flavors. This is Vanuaka from Canopy Botanicals. It's extremely strong Kava, so I'm going to go a little light on that because I've been doing heaping teaspoons. Some more gourmet Hawaiian Kava. This is the Papakea. This is, I find a very good sleepy Kava. End of the night, like the last liter of the day. Typically I drink anywhere from 2 to 4 liters a day. The average is 3, but sometimes I drink 4 liters of Kava, which is a lot of Kava, but I get up early and I stay up late when I'm doing that. This is something you don't see very often. It's Ndoada Mbilo Premium Quality Fijian Lavena, and it's absolutely fantastic. I can't remember the last time I saw it available for sale. If or when I ever see it again, I will be sure to grab some because the stuff I've got is absolutely fantastic. And just to mix it up, just to be very, very sure, I'm going to take from my Mongol grind jar and put it in a little spoon there. So I've got really quite a powerful set of different grinds that I'm going to make up here, and as you can see, it's just beautiful looking. I'm going to throw it in the bowl, put the top on. Yes, here's where I hid the water. And it's really not going to take much shaking. And they say, 30 seconds to a minute, and many people will shake for longer. I don't really see the point of that. I use a very simple motion like this, pointing downwards. I always line the bottle with a plastic bag. Of course, you could be doing this with a jar. I find the alum ball setup is really quite nice. With many times what I paid for it in terms of the use I get out of it. Now, I do like a bit of ice. And as you saw, there was not a lot of shaking. This grog is ready. Let's see if you can get down and see an image of what that really looks like. Oh yes, you see the bubbles? That's a very good sign. Kava bubbles are a sign of good luck. And it means you're going to drink a very, very good shell of grog. So, as a first wash, this is going to be quite strong. As you can see, it's quite thick. And should be intimidating, but I've been drinking Kava for a bit. This is beautiful. And you would think that this would be the Dr. Pepper of Kava and that it would taste really, really bad, but it doesn't. I mean, as you saw what went in, there was a lot of high quality Kava that went in. And quite the range. I mean, I could have thrown in a few more, but we were running out of time. It would have been nice to have even more. Anyway, you're a seasoned Kava drinker, you've got a bunch of different types sitting around, give it a try. I think you'll like it. I certainly do. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.